This podcast is part of the OIW Podcasting Network.
Hey guys, welcome back to Guilmy Talks. I hope everyone is doing fantastic today. I'm having a good day because this may sound weird, but I'm going back to work this afternoon. I'm actually very excited about that. I've been off for a few days here. We had a COVID-19 scare in the house. Could have went back last night, but I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't sleep for like 3 days, and I needed a good night's rest because, you know, that's when you can't function, right? And I was absolutely exhausted, stressed to the nines, and my body would just like, enough. I just bash a table there. So this week's guest, Lewis Carlan, a very good friend of mine. We've been texting back and forth. And been meaning to have him on for a while. I know that's my regular line with the show. It just things just don't really line up, and I'm terrible at asking people to come on the show. But I'm working on it and trying to get better, right? And that's becoming a better person. Lewis is a podcaster, and I love listening to his stuff. And whether it's him and George Mackay on MLW Rewind, or his own show on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network, I love listening to the insight he has. He's a very, very smart dude, and he's been a lifetime wrestling fan, which we talk about on the show. Couple things here. Starting in May, I'm going to have a new official sponsor, which will be very, very cool. But you got to wait until May to find out, guys. But back to my regular sponsors. Go check out batsinthebelfryart.com. She puts out wonderful artwork. If you want to see an amazing artist make something creative for you, go check out her stuff, because she's currently taking commissions. She's working on a whole bunch of little projects right now, and they're really cool. If you need any graphic design work done, guys, go check out Rob Day59. He is easy to work with, fantastic guy, and puts out a fantastic product. And that's all I really got to say right now, except Lewis is an awesome dude, and hope you guys will enjoy the show. Talk to you on the back half. Good morning, good evening, good night. How is everybody doing out there? Again, this is Guilmy, and on the line, I have a fantastic guest, and he hasn't even said a single word yet. One of my favorite podcasters to listen to out there, and I'm lucky enough to call this man a close personal friend, because he has been there when I have been down. He has been there when I've been up. He is the heart and soul, I personally think, of the OIW Podcast Network. He is a great dude. I can't say enough good things about Lewis, because you know what? I haven't heard one negative thing about this man in all the years I have been listening to his show. And he is the host of Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. He is the co-host of MLW Rewind, and he's a member of the OIW Podcast Network. As I said, he's a member of the Pop Culture Wrestling Network. He's a member of the Johners Network. And if you don't have this man on your network, why not? He's fantastic. He gets so many views, so many listens. I'm jealous of his numbers always. And also a man who married way above his league, Lewis Carlan. How's the day going, buddy?
Dude, that was like the greatest introduction of all time, man. You have me in tears right now. I'm thinking, am I really that good of a person, man? Am I really that cool, man? But no, that's I appreciate that, man. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Oh yeah.
It's about time you asked me to come on the show. I know you've been doing the show for decades now, and you never asked me to come on. And finally, I'm glad you finally asked me to come on. And I kind of like the toys you have in the background. I'm jealous. I want to play with them, but I can't because they're on the screen. They're not my basement. But yeah, it's good to be here, man.
And also, this isn't a green screen. I'm actually. Some people think it is. Like these are my actual collectibles back
toys.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
do you actually play with those toys? Do you play with those toys?
Actually, me and my son have an unboxing show that we kind of do.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. And that's why.
Show, yeah.
And also, I've only been collecting action figures since I think 85. So, yeah.
Okay. I just thought, well, maybe when you're bored, you get Captain America taking on. I'm sure you have the Thing somewhere, but did you have like a little superhero wars going on? Okay.
Here,
of course you do. Of course you got a Thing doll
I'll move
somewhere.
The camera up a little bit for you so you can see.
Oh yeah, there we go.
See the cup there.
I think I see Spider-Man there.
Oh yeah.
No,
actually, I do have one of my pride and joys, and I got my DC guys down here. So.
You got to keep DC away from Marvel. You don't want the.
Oh yeah. Or just
you don't want them mixing. You don't want DC dolls mixing with Marvel dolls.
Oh, never. You can't do that. You can't mix them up. That's why I got Marvel on the top, Transformers in the middle, and DC at the very.
Are you still
at the bottom? And I'm just going to pull back the curtain a little bit. We took, I think, 20 minutes to set this up due to either my computer thing, your computer thing. Who knows? But
and it's weird because it took 20 minutes. I told you I have 25, but it took you 20 minutes to set it up. So we have like 2 minutes left for the podcast.
Oh yeah. Because we both know, and we're both laughing the entire time because we both had guests who were sitting there kind of arms crossed like this, staring at you going, what did I get myself into here when there's some kind of and it's always the biggest names too. When everything goes to a crap.
It's kind of like, is he gonna start this fucking podcast already? What's going on, man?
Oh, and then we're here.
Am I allowed to curse? Am I allowed to curse on the show?
Yes. My show is 18 plus. That's how it's rated, just because I don't want to censor any guest ever about talking about any topics, because I've talked extensively about mental health on the show. I've talked about some heavy topics, and I have also just had a lot of fun. Like my tagline is talking to interesting people and having a fun time while doing it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're looking for interesting people, why'd you ask me, man?
Really? After listening,
I'm kidding.
After listening to you talk on This Is Brendan, you are one of the most interesting dudes I have ever heard of.
Oh, wow. Thanks. Yeah, no, I had fun. That was a fun show, man. I'm glad you think so.
Yeah, because heard you on that, and I'm like, okay, I've been thinking about getting Lewis on for years and years, but literally years. It's not because you've been
years.
Yeah, you've been podcasting for how
for about 3-4 years. I have. If you were thinking of getting me on for years, all you gotta do is ask. If you asked me like 4 years ago, I would have jumped on it. But if you're thinking about it, you should have actually asked. I would have been happy to do it, man.
And I'll be perfectly honest, I am the worst podcaster for asking his friends. Like, I have no problems asking huge wrestling talent or actors, directors, the big names. I get more nervous about talking to friends on the show. I think it's because they personally, I think it's because they know me a little bit, and I don't have that. I don't have the guard up that I normally do with the bigger name guests, because I let Justin show a little more when I'm talking to friends instead of just Guilmy, right?
So, okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Fair enough.
But,
all right. Cool, man.
Oh yeah. No. And first question for you. Why do you enjoy podcasting?
Oh man, that's actually a very good question. Well, when it comes to podcasting, I like podcasting. One, we should rephrase that. Why do you like professional wrestling podcasting? Because I wouldn't do podcasting if it wasn't professional wrestling. Big professional wrestling fan, grew up a wrestling fan. 1978, my grandfather introduced me to Bruno Sammartino. I remember the day clearly as like it was yesterday where he said, well, I don't want to go off topic. You asked me why I like podcasting, but I'm going to give you the whole story if that's cool.
Do it up, buddy.
So he introduced me to Bruno Sammartino. Years have gone by, big professional wrestling fan. And a couple of years ago, I'm thinking, there are podcasters out there, and I think I could be a pretty good podcaster. So I started a podcast with guy that I met on Facebook. It didn't work out. We went our separate ways. But I enjoyed doing the podcast. I didn't want to stop. So I kept doing the podcast and reviewing, NXT, reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling. I hooked up with Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. Really enjoyed doing it. I had 2 shows, and I was like, man, I really like doing this, man. I want to. It was kind of like being addicted to it. Like I would stop for a few months, but then I would like, you know what, I got to get back. I miss it too much. So I enjoy doing the podcast. I enjoy getting my voice out there. I enjoy talking about professional wrestling. I enjoy interviewing professional wrestlers. So that's really the main reason why I enjoy doing the podcasting, man.
Awesome. Yeah. And second question. Then this may sound kind of dickish. Have we ever actually met in person yet?
Man, that's a dickish question, man. I'm kidding. We have never met in person. We've wanted to, but because of this whole pandemic, we weren't able to. So no, but I think I was going to come to London. I think we were supposed to meet up for a slice of pizza or something.
Oh yeah,
I think we had that planned, but I didn't want to give away where you live. But
no. Hey, it's a fucking hashtag on the show. I'm all about London, dude.
Okay, there we go. So we'll get together soon.
Yeah, I know we were both at Taco Fest, and when you were at Taco Fest when it came to London, and I did see a photo, and we were literally standing 2 people apart.
Here's a funny story about that. I don't want to get Smash Wrestling upset, but I was supposed to there was a Smash Wrestling show and there was a Taco Fest, and I had tickets to go to the Smash Wrestling show, and I was at the Smash Wrestling show. But do you know, dude, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but a friend of mine was at Taco Fest, and I was like, you know what? I've never been to Taco Fest. I've never seen Pretty Ricky live. So I'd like to, maybe I just leave this show and go to the Taco Fest. So I left Smash Wrestling, went to Taco Fest and watched it for a bit. And then I was like, maybe I'll go back to Smash. Right. So I went back to Smash, and I was like, you know what am I doing? I haven't seen Pretty Ricky yet. So then I went back to Taco Fest and I just watched the rest of the show there. So sorry, Smash Wrestling. I left the show. I watched Taco Fest. It was a great show, actually. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's why I was there. I didn't know we were standing. I didn't know we were so close together, man.
Yeah, I saw.
Did we know each other then, or no?
No, we did not. I started messaging you about the OIW Podcast Network. I sent out some feelers, and just kind of because I'd rather work with guys that I can get along with and have the same kind of mindset I do than work with the biggest names out there. Okay. Because there were some pretty big names at the beginning who were interested about doing the OIW Podcast Network thing, but they weren't my kind of people, if you understand what that means.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, and me and you have 2 totally different views on politics, and eventually we will get there. But and we do have the occasional friendly back and forth, because I have some very conservative ideals when it comes to politics and some very liberal ideas. Okay. So just saying that, you probably know which party I've been a member of since I was 16. But oh man, that's actually really good. And I may leave this in, I may leave this out. I tried a new brand of orange pico. Okay. And it's actually really nice. Like
I'm an English breakfast tea guy. That's my English, that's my tea.
Oh yeah.
No, so in case George is watching, George, English breakfast tea, baby. That's the ticket, man.
Yeah, George, he does tune in. He does listen every so often, and then I'll get the occasional message. Why would you ask that? That was just dumb. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
I'm kidding,
You know what you
George.
say? You should just say, mind your own business. It's my podcast. I'll ask the questions. You just listen, George. I'll ask the questions on my show. Thanks, George.
Oh yeah. And besides pro wrestling, which you absolutely love, and watching you watch pro wrestling, you're one of those guys who just is totally into it, totally enamored by it. And myself, right now, I'm kind of in a lull. I think it's because of the pandemic.
Okay.
Like I watched WrestleMania with the crowd, absolutely loved it. I haven't been able to watch anything without a crowd, and I don't. And
Okay.
love wrestling. It's not for me right now.
Okay.
What's going on there? Like the Thunderdome, I can't watch with that. It's
Yeah.
more.
Okay. I got you.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
And so lately I've been going back and watching uh I'm a hardcore wrestling fan, so I've been going back and watching the old FMMW deathmatch stuff and the
Okay.
craziness that's that, and going back, and I've actually been watching a lot of Bob Backlund lately.
Oh, that's the man right there, Bob
Oh
Backlund. That was my
man.
guy.
Yeah, and anybody who thinks that, oh, he's the crazy chicken wing guy, go back and watch old WWF Bob Backlund, because a lot of the stuff he did can still be used today. I'm not talking about the moves, just the mentality, the movement, the the psychological work he did. I don't think he gets enough credit for that, because just watching him watch his, he never takes his eyes off his opponent, which is never turns his back to his opponent. He's never the guy to like show off to the crowd. Like he does the old arms up in the air, but he still has his eyes on his opponent at all times.
Yeah.
For me, watching some of the modern guys show your back to your opponent, I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Just
No, gotcha.
basic wrestling mentality, and a lot of
Yeah.
the WWE guys right now, I can't. I'm not in enjoying the product as much as I normally do, and I don't know if it's just getting older. I like the older style where it was more. I don't know. I think I'm just missing crowds. That's
Yeah. No.
probably it.
Yeah. No. But this is a great book, by the way. If you get a chance to
Oh,
read Bob Backlund's book, it's just a phenomenal book.
oh
So
yeah.
there's my plug for Bob Backlund. But no, I totally understand what you're saying. It's tough to watch without a crowd. I haven't watched a WWE in years. I've lost interest. You know, more of a New Japan Pro Wrestling guy.
Oh yeah.
I was watching Impact Wrestling up to about a month ago, but I kind of lost, except for Josh Alexander, I kind of lost interest in Impact Wrestling and the AEW. Definitely, but definitely the old time stuff. You ever get to go back, watch Bruno Sammartino versus Superstar Billy Graham? Those matches were just absolute classics, man. So if you get a chance, highly
Oh yeah.
recommend those.
And Bruno is like, I grew up with my grandparents watched it. Grew up in, like, I'm 40 years old, so I my first wrestling memory is the build up to WrestleMania 3. Hogan,
Okay.
Andre, and everything.
Andre, oh yeah, I remember that
And
well.
oh yeah, and well, everybody who was around at that time, because it was in the culture. People forget that it wasn't just a wrestling thing. It was cartoons. Like they had number one selling albums. It was everywhere. Like it was just crazy. Oh, and also my latest book, Positively Unstoppable by DDP.
All right, there we go.
uh,
All right.
I don't know why. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, no,
Just
he's a great talent. Great talent.
oh yeah. And also I lost 80 pounds doing DDPY. So I'm I'm a fan. It's
There you
easy.
go. That's awesome. Awesome to hear, man.
Oh yeah. I want to ask this: the story behind MLW Rewind. How did that actually start? start up.
Just wanted to do another podcast. MLW was coming back because it was on hiatus for a bit because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
They were doing a restart. I'm like, I'd like to do a MLW podcast. I didn't want to do it on my own, so I decided, I'd like to do it with somebody, and I put it out there, and I know you expressed interest, but you said you was interested, and the rest is history. We got MLW Rewind. No, it was no big, huge story. There was no big negotiation with me and George, and it was just, hey, you want to do a podcast? He was like, yeah, sure, and that was it. That was it.
And that's the way that most podcasts.
And I regret every second of it, though, man. I regret every second that he said yes, because he's hell to work with, man. He is such a difficult person to work with. On a professional level, he's just a difficult. You don't see the stuff that goes on off the camera. Oh my God, he grills me on this, he grills me on that. No, I'm kidding. George is a great guy. George is a good guy. We're enjoying working together. At least hopefully we are.
Oh yeah, and also George is a mutual friend of ours, and he's a good guy to bounce ideas off. I find, which I've been doing a lot lately, because as you know,
George is great. George is terrific. He's a very, very smart individual, and he's definitely, I bounce ideas off him as well. I know I joke around, but realistically, he's a great guy. And I'm proud to know him. Got my fingers crossed on that one, but I'm proud to know.
And George will be using that as a soundbite in the opening of your podcast. I bet now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and
you really enjoying that tea there, huh?
Oh yeah, well, you know what? My throat has been killing me the past few days. Just allergy season's coming in. And yeah, and also I'll tell the little story about what's been going on with me and the household lately. We had a close encounter with somebody who has COVID-19.
Okay.
So all of us. No, it's we're all 5 out of the 6 are negative right now. It's nobody's positive, but we're just waiting on test results because giving most of a family's test results instead of waiting the freaking half hour or hour or day and giving them all at once, that would make sense. That's
kind of would make sense. Then.
Not a great way to stress an entire household out, but
yeah, I had 2 close calls. I was sick twice during this pandemic, but both tests came back negative. So, and my daughter was just tested and she was negative. So it's Carlan 3, COVID-19 0.
Awesome.
So that's how it's working out.
And yeah, how is it having an 18-year-old now? That's kind of an actual adult as a child.
Yeah, she's no longer a minor, and I don't know. It's just like same thing when I was 18. When you're 18, your parents come home. You're like, "Hey, how you doing?" You're like, "Oh, get out of my room. I'm busy." So that's basically a relationship right now. It's just, "Hey, how are you? I just worked 8 hours so I could put food on the table and help pay for your college tuition. How you doing? Oh, get out." And you're frozen again, and I can't do anything. Oh, there you're back. Okay.
Yep. It just, okay. I don't know, man. It just, normally I have no issues with Wi-Fi connection, anything.
It's probably me. Maybe it's the toys. Maybe the toys are interfering because you got so many toys in the back.
Honestly, I have no idea anymore. What I'm genuinely okay. Some podcaster talking now, guys. I think I'm just gonna buy one of those 100-foot cables and literally just run it up the stairs in the basement something so I have a direct connection now, because
There you go.
I live in a concrete and steel building. So townhouse, it's about 60 years old. I love living in this place. It's just older
Like, how,
materials. I think that's
like,
it.
how do you know it's concrete and steel? Did you investigate? Did you inspect the house, or it's
Well, yeah.
concrete and
Well,
concrete and steel? So there's
yeah.
nothing. Okay, like, there's no brick. Oh, brick is
Oh,
concrete.
yeah. It's cinder block and
Okay.
big old steel
Okay.
steel
Okay.
beams.
I live in a glass house, so
Okay. See, where me, I got a townhouse, so we only have windows on two sides out of a four. I'm smack
okay.
dab in the middle. But and now some inside baseball for the podcasting game. What network? What are you, YouTube based? Are you Anchor based or pod?
YouTube video, Anchor, audio.
Okay, because I've been on Podbean since 2016. I pay the
Okay.
15 bucks a month.
Yeah, I don't. Not, is this
Yeah.
part of the podcast, or are we just talking? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh
guys.
no. This is just this is part of the podcast, because
That's-
some
yeah,
people
no
I
one's ever
have.
asked me. Oh,
Oh no. It's
no. Okay.
because I have podcasters who actually listen to the show, and
Okay.
they ask a well, as I said, I'm very different than most, and I got some questions here, but I'm just like, next
Yeah.
time,
No. Well, you
because
mentioned Podbean. I used to, no, not next time, this time. You asked the
oh yeah,
questions this time.
please.
But you mentioned Podbean, because I don't know if there's going to be a next time, to be honest.
Mhm. Well, it did take me
No,
170 episodes to get you on
I'm
now.
kidding. So get the
Oh yeah, I know.
questions in now, because there's no guaranteed next time. Okay.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but you mentioned Podbean. I was on Podbean, but I didn't think it was worth paying the money. Anchor is free, so I just switched to Anchor, and Anchor is free, and it's a great service. So
Oh yeah.
that's why I
That's
switched to Anchor. But
I've
I'm on
been
YouTube. Is
yeah, I've been thinking about switching over to Anchor a lot lately. Is there,
Yeah.
since you have been on both pod, and the thing with Podbean, which is great, it's the customer service. You ever have any issues, because you are paying, you're a client of theirs, they will fix it immediately. For Anchor, have you
Okay.
ever dealt with the
No,
customer service, or
actually, I only one question, because I've been earning some money, and I just want to know how I could cash that in. And they did answer me within 48 hours. So customer service is fine in Anchor.
okay? It just my only issue with Podbean, if your credit card is doesn't work or anything like that, they cut you off immediately. They email you and say, "Hey, you have 48 hours to fix this, or the show's coming it down." And I'm like,
Well, that's every company, I think, right?
"Oh yeah,
Not just Podbean.
oh I know." And I'm just like,
If you don't pay your bills, then you're gonna lose your service. So
"Yep."
that's how companies work. Justin. Okay.
There is the Lewis laugh. I wanted one.
There we go.
And well, hey,
That's how the
I
world
got it.
works, Justin.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and I'm only 40 years old now,
Yeah.
figuring out
Yeah, 40 years old with a
how do you pay
40
your
years old
bills.
with a basement full of action figures. So there you
Oh
go,
yeah,
man. All right. All right, cool.
oh
Actually,
yeah.
I got a couple of I got a few of these here. These are the only ones that I really collect, like the pop figures. I got my Ric Flair.
Awesome.
I got my Kenny Omega. I got a few others as well.
Oh yeah, and the Funko Pops, I absolutely love them. Me and the wife collected them for years and years. We
Yeah.
had, I think I think we maxed out like 330 because we were trading, selling, kind of a home business we both kind of worked on. And then
Okay.
somebody randomly offered, "Hey, what's your collection status?" And he's like, "I will pay you this much cash tomorrow for your entire collection." And I'm like, I talked to Catherine, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's like 4 or 5 months rent. Yeah, I think we should definitely take it."
Yeah,
And
there you go.
yeah, no, because collectibles are just fun, and I love swapping, trading,
Yeah.
the whole game. Just like
Yeah.
oh, somebody was watching an unboxing video. Let me see if I can see it. I have the original Spider-Man from like the original Spider-Man action figure from
Okay.
the 60s up there. Somebody spotted it,
Okay.
and he offered me a
Wow.
very nice.
You have the from the 60s. Do you have it now?
Yeah, here.
You still have it?
Yeah, just give me one sec.
Let's take a look at that from the 60s. That's interesting. It's not interesting.
Headphones are still on there, buddy.
Yeah, I was just playing to do that.
I know, but
no,
it's all good.
There.
But
wow, no, seriously, that's from what year is that from?
this is 1968 or
Wow,
68 or 69.
Hold it up again. Hold it up again.
There you go, man.
Because when I was a kid in the 70s, I would collect. I would have Batman. I had Robin. I had a Superman. But that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, this one actually predates.
How much is that worth?
I have no idea. And the story behind this guy is I found this guy and a Captain America in some vintage an antique store.
Okay,
And
that's cool.
I did the research on this guy, and I don't have my paperwork in front of me. That's how much of a nerd I am. I do research on figures.
You're not a nerd. You're not a nerd.
Oh God,
I'm just kidding. You know, people collect things. This is what you collect.
Oh.
I'm just joking. So
I know,
there's
man.
nothing wrong with what you're doing, man.
Oh no, I fully embrace the nerd geek culture. I call myself one all the time because it just
You know who's a nerd? Brendan. Brendan's a nerd. 100%, man.
Yeah, he is, and it just he's such an interesting dude. He really is.
No, he's a good guy. I like.
Oh yeah,
he's cool.
Yep.
And we're talking. The people watching this gonna have no idea who we're talking about, but
God,
Brendan's a cool dude. Brendan is a cool dude.
For those who don't know, we're talking about Holden Albright, professional indie wrestler.
Indie star, yeah.
Yeah.
Crossbody heavyweight champion.
Yep. Because one day we will have shows back. I'm not sure when, but one day.
One day.
Hey everyone, this is Adam Hayes, host of Shwa Wars podcast. I've been involved in independent wrestling here in Ontario since 2006, and I can't think of a better way of entertaining the masses right now than with this podcast. We don't only cover pro wrestling, but we cover everything pop culture, as well as a variety of fun and unique show concepts that make us different from the rest. We dispute, debate, discuss everything with a variety of guests as we rank, review, and rave about all things pop culture from the past and the present. So if you got a spare minute, or several, why not check us out today by going to anchor.fm/Shwa Wars Podcast. That's anchor.fm/Shwa, S-H-W-A, Wars Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Shwa Wars. So don't wait and check us out today.
Okay, lay those questions on me, brother. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Lay those questions on me, man.
Right.
I think somebody just walk in.
Oh no! Somebody close the door.
Okay.
Probably one of the kids who were like, "I don't want to hear Dad."
Okay.
First one. Favorite professional wrestler?
Roddy Piper. No doubt. Without a doubt, Roddy Piper. Were you talking about all time or current?
All
time.
All time.
All time Roddy Piper. Current Kota Ibushi.
Oh man, And going to Kota Ibushi is amazing, but I'm a hard Okada fan. I love the
No,
Rainmaker.
Okada is tremendously talented wrestler, but
Oh
right
yeah,
now it's Kota Ibushi.
because he's so
Kota Ibushi, 100%.
because he is it because it looks like he kills himself every single match? Because some of the bumps that guy takes, I don't know
I just
how he
nuts.
gets up.
I just nuts. But he's just so immensely talented, man.
Oh,
Immensely. And I was a little upset that he dropped the title to Osprey, but apparently he has a foot injury, so he had to take some time off. So that's why he dropped the title.
oh, and speaking of title belts, what do you think about the new belt? It's I love it and I hate it at the
Uh,
same time. It just I
let's just let's just say I prefer the old belt better.
yeah,
I'll leave it at that. I prefer the old IWGP Heavyweight Championship better,
it's
and we'll leave it at that.
when you have the most iconic looking wrestling title in the world, the most beautiful belt.
Yeah.
Why in God's name would you change it? Oh,
I don't know, but I don't know if you saw Kota Ibushi's face. It was holding it up. It was kind of like, this is the belt? This
Yeah,
is
it's
what you're
like-
giving me? And I think maybe he dropped the belt because he just didn't like the look of it.
how it looks
like,
like
if this is the belt, I'm dropping it next match to Will Ospreay. So, but yeah, no, I like the old style better, 100%.
yeah, it's I don't want to say it, but it does remind me of the old Divas butterfly belt a little bit.
A lot of people say that. It does kind of look like the Divas belt or Jeff Hardy's old TNA belt. It kind of looks like, but it's beyond our control. We can't do anything about it. So
we can complain.
Just gotta live and love it. Yeah, we can complain, but bottom line is, we gotta learn to love it. That's all.
Oh yeah, and I think in about a year, year or two, we'll probably like it, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe we'll like it a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's like going back to WWE and their belt. Why would you ever change the winged eagle belt? The most iconic belt in WWE history, and they keep changing it and changing it and changing it.
Yeah.
Well, oh yeah, they got to sell.
I guess they're just trying to keep up with the times. I guess I don't know. But...
I don't know. I think it's more they got to sell more and more toys and more replica belts.
Yeah,
and
that's probably it, man.
Yeah, but
yeah.
And back to New Japan Wrestling.
Yep.
When did you first discover that? Because myself, I first discovered heard about it in the 80s and 90s, but I didn't watch it. But I was really brought back when Jericho and the Omega feud, and then I started going back watching the amazing product over the years.
Yep. Well, growing up WWF fan, Antonio Inoki and Tatsumi Fujinami would make appearances at Madison Square Garden. So I knew about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Just there was no internet, so there was no New Japan World, of course, back then. So there was no way to really watch it, but you would see it in the magazine. So I knew of it, but I never really watched it. I knew like Hulk Hogan would go there. I knew Andre the Giant would go there. But it wasn't until about maybe 4 years ago when I learned about the service. I signed up for it, and because I was a big Okada was the champion then. Loved Okada, and I really got into it about 4 years ago when I was able to order New Japan World and watch it on a regular basis.
And I think a lot of wrestling fans, because I just heard Jericho and Stone Cold talking about when the New Japan Network started, and just the subscription numbers kept going up and up and up, and that's kind of the reason.
Yeah,
one of the reasons that AEW looked and said, "Hey, if they're doing this, is there enough fans for another product in the States?" And obviously there was, but
well. Yeah, I don't know if that was a reason why AEW formed. I think is AEW for because Cody and the Young Bucks, I think they were challenged by Dave Meltzer because I think they said they could sell it in an arena, and Dave Meltzer said you couldn't, and they said, you know what, we're gonna have a show at an independent show at an arena. I forgot the arena, but they sold it out in like I think 10 minutes, and they were like, hey, we're onto something here. So then I was like, from there they were big in Japan. Of course, Jericho went to Japan, feuded with Omega, and they contacted Tony Khan. They said, hey, we sold out an arena on the strength of us. We could probably start a promotion, and the rest is history, man.
Oh, yeah. And some of their stuff I absolutely love. And some of it, I would just shake my head and be like, one thing that drives me nuts about AEW, nobody uses a tag rope. I'm a big tag team wrestling guy, and I'm like, I can't watch the tag teams there or the trios and I know it's lucha style. They're in and out, but I'm like, takes me right out. I can be the old school guy.
Because they won't hold the tag rope, you're not interested.
They're not
just because they won't hold the tag rope. Is that what you're saying? Really?
It drives me nuts. It's one of those things that just absolutely drives me nuts. They're not doing the tag rope, or they're not waiting to be tagged out.
Okay.
Maybe it's just a Ray Phoenix thing where he just jumps into the ring all the time. But also I'm
well, one thing that bugs me is I noticed that when I was growing up, you'd have to tag each other's hands. Now I notice they tag each other on the back, or they'll tag each other on the leg, or they'll touch each other on the front to come in. But when growing up, it's just you have to tag each other's hand to come in. So that gets, I'm not gonna say it gets annoying, but why are they doing that now? They just tag each other's hands, and that's the way it's always been done. I don't know why they change it.
And I think that started when WWE started doing the when they had no tag teams, and they would just throw guys together. So single guys who never wrestle the tag team style would just kind of slap whoever was on the outside. But
okay,
who knows? That's just something I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old and better now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm older than you, but that's okay. That's cool.
Oh yeah. No, I really don't like complaining about the product, because I'm the guy who watch what you enjoy and don't bitch or about it. Like, so if I see a tag match and I'm not interested, I'll fast forward, because I rarely watch anything live, just because I don't have time. I got a wife, I got 4 kids.
Not everybody has the time.
I wish I did.
I got you.
Oh yeah.
No, that's why New Japan Pro Wrestling, a lot of their shows are on like 4, sometimes 3, sometimes 5 in the morning. So I'll get up before everybody is up, and I'll go down to my computer and I'll watch it live then. So that's like from 4 a.m. to like 7 a.m. is my time, and I could watch the New Japan Pro Wrestling and just do my podcast on it. So thankfully it's not on during regular business hours, so I can watch it early in the morning. So that's another reason why I really enjoy it, because it's my time, like 4 to 7 in the morning, and it's usually on, and I can watch it. No interruptions.
You know what?
I get pissed. I get pissed though when I'm watching, and it's like 5:30 in the morning, and like my wife can't sleep, and she's up, and she's like, "What are you doing down there?" I'm like, "New Japan Pro Wrestling's on." I'm like, "This is where I'm staying until 7. Sorry."
You know what? I do the same thing. I'm normally up between.
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, this is my time.
Yeah.
This is my time. Look, it's my time now. I'm not leaving my seat. I'm watching Okada take on Tetsuya Naito, so I'm not going anywhere.
Oh man, yeah, I would not move during that match. And what are your actually thoughts on Naito? You a fan? You're not a fan?
Naito is terrific. Naito, yeah, I'm doing my. That's Naito is terrific. I love Naito. Just incredible talents. I'm so glad they put the titles on him. He should have held the belts longer than they had the belts on him, but lost it to Kota Ibushi. But just an immensely incredible talent.
I think
incredible talent.
And New Japan has so much talent right now. From like, they have so many main event guys that you can throw.
Yep.
Honestly, I think you can throw 10 guys into the title picture at any time. But and
Absolutely, man. And a lot of people don't, a lot of people forget. A lot of people forget that they have John Moxley. John
mhm.
Moxley is the IWGP US Heavyweight Champion. A lot of people have forgotten about that. And he's a member of the New Japan roster. So they have a great roster. They have
Oh
a terrific roster. And I don't know if you're following New Japan Strong here in the US. I should say here in the US, we're in Canada, but in the
yeah,
US, New Japan Strong, they got Leo Rush, they got Brody King, they got Chris Dickinson. They got some great talent in here in the US as well.
oh yeah. And I need to keep up more on the product. To just I'll be honest, the past 3 months for myself have been incredibly busy. I've been having issues. My time has been very crunched. I got a lot of
Okay.
just personal stuff going on, so I got to cut back on
Okay.
watching this. Um, and as you know, hey, I got time for an interview between 1:30 and 3 on a Wednesday. You good? Nope. I can only do evenings. All right then. Or hey, um, my schedule is afternoons. Well, that's the only time I can record. Okay. Yeah. Just work's been all over the place. Everything's been trying trying to get something else going on the side, as we talked about before the show. But it just kind
Yep,
of
of course.
but that's the one thing about podcasting I find is the time balance, the editing, the everything behind the scenes that people don't really think of. And you seem like you balance your time very, very well.
Yeah, no, I work. I have a family, but like they know that I like to do the podcast, and like if something big happens in the world of professional wrestling, I'll run downstairs. I don't do 2 3 hour podcasts. Like most of my podcasts will be like 15 minutes to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, unless it's an interview. It'll go longer than that. But if I'm just doing the regular Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast, and I try to keep it short and sweet, because I think if you go too long, you're going to lose people's interest. So if I do a podcast like 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, who has time to sit down and listen to a podcast for 3 hours? Who wouldn't want to do that anyway? I don't want to do that. So that's why I like to keep it 10, 15 minutes. So and with the magic of editing on the computer and uploading with a high-speed internet, which is highly recommended, you could get the whole thing done in like an hour or less than an hour, right? You could do the podcast, you could edit it and get it uploaded to YouTube in about an hour, and then promote it. And so yeah, so I carefully plan my time, spend time with the family. There are times where I spend too much time. Like if I'm doing too much time on the podcast, she'll let me know, my wife, and, oh, you downstairs again? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'll come upstairs. But I'm sure I'm sure you get that as well. But yeah, I try to balance everything. It's not like I got a little girl that I have to spend time with. She's 18. She doesn't really want to be on her own, doesn't want me to be in her face all the time, and so it gives me a little more time there. But yeah, I manage it the best I can.
Awesome. Because that's one thing I'm trying to learn how to be better at.
Okay, yeah, no,
Because
I
and one thing I've been loving doing myself is the walk and talks, the drive and talks, just which I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on, the walk and talks.
okay.
Like I'm just walking the dog, talking, have the earbuds in, talking to myself. I look like a crazy person, and people have stopped, stared at me
I'm
because
thinking
I'm.
about you just walking and talking, just walking the dog and
Yep.
talking.
Oh yeah, because
It
I got.
sounds strange. It sounds strange, but
Oh, it is. I have had a few instances where people have actually stopped and asked, "Hey, bud, you okay there? What's going on?" Oh no, I'm just on a phone call.
you
Um,
say, yeah, I'm
talking
doing a
about.
podcast. Mind your own business.
Oh yeah, because in my neighborhood, a lot of people know who I am because I'm before the pandemic, I was a guy who would always, hey, Bill, how's the day going? Da 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 da. Oh yeah, how's the wife? How's your kids? I'm a natural talker, right? And I don't know if that's because I was a restaurant manager for 20 years or it's a part of just me and I just talk a lot. And that's kind of the point of a podcast. But and
Oh, gee, I'm sorry
pardon me.
if this conversation is getting you bored. You know,
No, it's
gee, we could wrap things up if you want to get going.
it's the past
Yeah,
3 nights I have not slept.
The interviewer. It's usually if I'm being asked the boring questions, I might get a little tired, but the person asking the questions is actually yawning. That's great stuff, man. Makes the guest feel wonderful. Like, great stuff, man.
And this is why
you're not editing that out now. You're leaving that in. You're leaving that in. That's not
so leaving
that is leaving that in. Wow.
Oh man,
yawning.
It just here.
That's great stuff.
I'll
just
show
think.
you the eyes real quick. I haven't slept for like. I'll be perfectly honest. I haven't slept for about 3 nights because stress. Yeah, that's it.
No, hey, I was up till about 4 a.m. the other day, so I got you. I understand.
Oh yeah,
I think you saw my message. Insomnia kicking in. I think you saw it. But,
yeah, and then I'm waking up. Yep, it sucks. But I do want to wrap this up because I know you have a very, very busy.
Actually, I'm having a blast. We don't have to wrap this up. If you want to go in a few more minutes, that's fine.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. It just I don't like taking too much of people's time. But another question I do have for you. How was it actually moving from New York to Ontario? Was it a huge culture shock or big change?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I mean, Canada and the US are both basically the same. You know, there was although some of my language wasn't understood here. Like when in New York, you would order you want to get a sub sandwich, you would call it a hero, right? So I remember first moving up here, going to Mr. Sub and saying, "Yeah, can I get let me get the chicken parmesan hero." And they're like, "Are you from New York?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know I'm from New York?" Nobody calls it hero here, guy. It's just a sub or a sandwich. I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I won't." And I remember seeing people with the poppies. I didn't understand what the poppies were at first, but when I learned about it, then I started wearing the poppies. But other than that, no, it's a smooth transition from New York to Ontario.
Okay.
And people here are a lot nicer actually in Ontario than they are because I'm from Queens, New York, and you go to Manhattan, everyone is full of bent up rage and angry, and they're all packed in the subway and just not very friendly. Well, most people are, but some people aren't. But here, I just found people more laid back, more friendly.
And one of the things you do miss say more about Queens?
Pizza, New York pizza, baby. I miss that. And in case they're watching, Mom and Dad, I miss you too. But it's more about the pizza, Mom and Dad.
Oh yeah,
it's here. It's pizza and then Mom and Dad. That's where it's at. No, I'm kidding. But
oh guys, you should have saw what Lewis did. One hand way above the head, and then
it's a pizza and then
I'll
get to Mom and Dad after that's why whenever I go back to New York, and also White Castle as well. White Castle. I don't know if you ever had White Castle.
Yes.
Okay,
I love those little tiny slider burgers.
I remember when I went to visit my mom and dad last year, and I got off the Long Island Railroad. I'm in Bayside. Oh yeah, they're terrific. I got off the train in Bayside. And I had 2 suitcases with me, and I'm headed to the hotel. Walking to the hotel, but the hotel was about a half mile. But I saw a White Castle was there in Bayside, New York. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to White Castle. I don't care about the suitcases. So I brought both suitcases in, laid them down, got some White Castle, and then went back to the. But I I three things: my folks, pizza, and White Castle. There you go.
And actually, this is in my younger days when we could travel. Me and my buddies, we heard about this place, White Castle. One guy went into it. Oh, it's the
Yeah.
best food, tastes so good, because that's one thing about the US. The food tastes phenomenal wherever you go. It really does. It just like in the South, you got the barbecue. New
No,
York,
I
you got
don't. I disagree. I disagree. It's food doesn't taste great wherever you go in the U.S. I've had some pretty bad food in the U.S. So don't put that false narrative out there that every single bit of food in the United States is delicious, because it's not. Okay, take my
Oh,
word
no.
for it. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, man, because I've I've only been to the States a handful of times in 40
Okay.
years. And one thing
Okay.
we always plan out is where we're going for food, because I am
Okay.
a foodie. I'm a food guy. I'm a cook, worked in restaurants for years.
Okay.
I'm
Good
not
for you.
gonna, if I'm going to the States, we're not stopping at a McDonald's or something like that. I look up reviews. I do this. Maybe
There you
that's
go.
why
Okay.
I'm just, because yeah, I like food.
All right. Hey, I like food too.
Oh yeah,
Food's good. Food, you need food to survive. So food is good, man.
oh yeah. And one day, when you can come up to London, we're gonna hit up Archie's. Gonna talk to my
Oh, Archie's is a great place, man. I love
uh
Archie. Oh, that's where you used to manage, right? At Archie's?
yes,
That's a
sir.
great place. I've been there. See, I used to, well, not used to, but I worked for a company and they used to, or I'm a driver, and I used to be a spare driver and I used to cover for people in London. And I would stay at right across from the Archie's is the Comfort Inn. So I
Oh
would stay
yeah,
at the
yeah,
Comfort
yeah.
Inn. I would stay at the Comfort Inn, and I would just cross the street, go to Archie's, and it was great stuff, man. The fish and chips are fantastic. Even the chicken parmesan is really good there. I was surprised. It's was that's you? You cooked that? No, there you go. There, if you cooked
No,
that, are
no.
you? Was that the Archie's that you worked at?
That was
Was that the
one.
Archie's?
Yes, I actually worked at all the locations, but
Okay,
I worked at that one for about 2 years. I was the
okay.
manager, and that was my idea to actually bring in, because I'm like, hey,
Wow. Well,
we got fryers.
I guess I owe you a thank you, because when I was surprised to see it on the menu because it's seafood, and I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
gonna try it, and I was like, holy! And they even have the chicken parmesan sandwich too, which was very close to a New York hero. So I was very impressed. So thank you very much for bringing that in. Thank you. Yeah, good job. Good
Hey,
job.
I just came up with a couple ideas.
There you
And
go.
some of them I cooked.
They should rename it Justin's.
Oh no, no, I've been gone. I've been gone for about 3 years, and I still have many friends there.
Yeah.
They're very
Okay.
close,
Yeah.
because it's
That
a.
was a joke. They'll
Oh,
leave
I
it
know.
Archie's, but that was just a joke. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I love how it's called Archie's, and the owner's name is not Archie.
It's
I
okay.
know.
Well, what's his name? Or
Uh,
can you tell me his name or no?
yeah. It's
Or actually, if you can,
common
it's okay.
knowledge.
You don't have
Okay.
to. You don't have to. It's okay. Okay. Well, Archie's is the better
Oh yeah.
name. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Archie sounds better. Archie
Yep.
sounds better up on the because when you say like, hey, where you want to go today? Let's go to Archie's.
Yeah.
That's a cool sounding.
And
Just
I.
just like Ray Kroc. I don't know if you know who Ray Kroc is.
Yep.
Okay, of course you do. Of course you do. But when he wanted the McDonald's name because he didn't want to call it Crocs, so he wanted to call it McDonald's.
Yep.
So because McDonald's sounds a lot better, so that makes a lot of sense to call it Archie's.
Oh yeah. And one of the
It
reasons
does it just
that.
the sound. It sounds better.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sorry. That
No,
little
man.
history of McDonald's there, but
Hey.
I like how when I said, you know who Ray Kroc is, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly who Ray Kroc is. Okay.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I studied restaurant history when I was a restaurant manager, to see what people did right and what people did wrong.
Okay.
Because fuck it, I'll say it. When I came into the Archie's on Huron Street there, their buffet numbers were really, really low. They were actually considering canceling it all together. And I'm like, hey, why don't we try this, and this? Give me 3 months. If the numbers don't come up, cancel the whole thing. It'll be done.
I didn't know they had a buffet, but
Yeah, on the Huron and Adelaide store, they have a breakfast buffet on Saturday,
if I knew, I
Saturday,
didn't know
Sunday.
that. If I knew that, I would have hit up that place.
Oh
But
yeah,
the one I went to didn't have the. They had a
No.
good breakfast. They have good breakfast
Oh
too.
yeah,
By the
they
way.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food's there really, really good. But also, guys, if you're in London, check it out. If you're going to Wellington, tell Barb I say hi.
I have
But
to make a shout out to a restaurant though. Stobie's
Yeah,
Pizza
please.
is just fantastic. Stobie's Pizza. When I smash wrestling show at the London Music Theater, right across the street is Stobie's. Oh my gosh.
Oh
That
yeah,
is like the best pizza I've had in Ontario. Not quite New York pizza, but it's still the best I've had in Ontario. So if anyone from Stobie's is watching, good job, guys.
and Stobie's is very, very good. It is one of those places where you no matter what you have, it's good.
It's good. They need to expand though, because there's really not too many places to sit in there. It's very small. Most people take takeout, but they have a few seats in there, and you're kind of cramped.
Oh yeah,
But a great place.
I and honestly, right now, I miss restaurants.
Well, you can still
That's
go, right? You can still
Oh
go
yeah,
get takeout, right?
oh yeah, but it's not the same.
Not the same.
It's one of those things where me and the wife have been doing takeout meal once a week, and we come upstairs, watch a movie, and just kind of have a date night,
Okay.
because that's what we got to do. And the amount of places we've been trying in London lately, it's I haven't really had a bad experience with the takeout since the pandemic hit, because I think everybody in restaurants are making sure everything's perfect now.
Yeah.
They're taking the extra step, because how many times have you got takeout and everything is just kind of thrown into a bag, and then just everything's tipped, everything's like messed up, or
I
this or
get
that.
that. Yeah. One thing I hate also that I don't like is when you take takeout. This happened to me the other day. You take takeout and they're like, "Oh, give us a good review on Google." I'm like, "Well, if the food's good, you'll get a good review on Google.
Yeah.
Don't just say, hey, just when you go home, just go on Google, give us a good review." No, I'm gonna taste the food first, and
Yeah.
if it's good, maybe I'll give you a good review on Google. And then I walk out and slam the door.
Yeah, it's don't force reviews, guys.
Yeah, it's like, oh, just give us a good review on Google. No, I'm not gonna. It's like when I bought a car. I bought a car last year. The guy was like, when you go on to review, make sure you give me 5 stars. I'm like, did you earn the 5 stars? I'm not just gonna give it to you. It irritates me, man. But I'm sorry. I think I'm going off topic here. I don't mean to do
we're
that.
good.
But, okay.
No, because it's like back to podcasting. Like, I know on some of the apps you can hit a little, or you can hit the heart or the 5-star review or the comment, and it does really help shows. I have never once on the show, I think at the beginning I did, but I've never asked anybody to rate or review it. Or my thing is more share it. Let people know.
No, I'm with you on that. Just with YouTube, in the beginning, I was going on Twitter and social media saying, "Hey guys, I need some subscribers. Can somebody please help me out?" But then I'm thinking, I don't want to do that. I want to get actual subscribers. I don't want to ask someone to subscribe and they subscribe and then they never listen to the show. So I would want to get a real person who likes the show to subscribe. So I stopped doing that on social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to get someone that actually.
You want an organic listen.
Yeah, I don't want other podcasters. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I don't want to go on social media and tag 15 different podcasters and say, "Hey, can you help me out with some subscribing to my YouTube channel?" And they're not going to listen to the show ever. I want someone that says, "Hey, I like this. I'm going to subscribe to this channel." So that's what I'm going for. And it's been working out so far. So I'm almost at 300. So hopefully I'll hit that soon.
Awesome. And I just love it how my YouTube channel, which is honestly, my YouTube channel is just attached to Podbean and just post my shows. I do nothing with it. And I got about 30 to 40 subscribers on there, but
There you go. There you go.
I'm an audio-based show where on Podbean I have 50 to 60 regular followers there, and then I go through
That's
all
good.
the apps. And one of the tricks that I do, I go through all the apps and I make sure my show's on it. Because if like I just found one podcasting France, something, I
Okay.
think that's it. You cannot find my show on it. And I sent them a message. I asked why, and they're like, "Oh, because you're not a French speaking podcast." Makes total sense.
Yep.
Why would you have an English speaking podcast on a French podcasting network?
That's I can't argue with you there.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I'm like, well, I am a French, and then me being me, I'm like, well, I'm a French Canadian. Does that help? And I'm like, well, do you speak French on the show? I'm like, no, because my French is garbage. And
Okay,
they're
there
like,
you go.
yeah, see, just stuff like that. And then I see other people getting upset about it, and just some of the comments, and I'm like, you're being discriminatory. And I'm like, actually, no, they're not. They're making their own audience, right? What I've been doing for years.
That's right. All right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right there.
I don't know. I think sometimes people may get offended a little too easy lately about certain things. And I'm not saying that, because I'm not saying anything about any of the big things going on in the news, because I think we're going through a society change right now, good or bad. I'm not sure your opinion on it, but I don't know. It's just a little bit weird.
What do
I
you
think.
mean society change? What do you explain what you mean?
Like, I've been noticing the whole cancel culture going back, and like the whole cancel culture thing. I don't understand canceling something when it can teach other generations what not to do. Why would you just get rid of something instead of being like, why don't we take this, look at it, learn from it? And like the whole the Dr. Seuss things, I don't understand that. And it was from a company standpoint. Okay, nobody's buying these books. We'll just stop selling the books from 60 years ago, because, and then it, maybe I just don't understand it all. But I don't really understand the cancel culture. Like, everyone's human, everyone makes mistakes. People can learn from their mistakes. But if you're totally wiping everything out, how does the next generation look back and learn from that? Am I making any sense here?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because never really talked about the whole cancel culture thing on the show, but maybe it's the age thing. I just don't get it. I really don't. Opinions or
Well, I think this is a topic for our political podcast that we're gonna that we'll be doing hopefully in the future. But
oh yeah,
let's leave that one alone for now. We'll as Jen Psaki says, we'll circle back to it on another podcast.
oh yeah,
If that's cool.
Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine, because yeah, I'm actually writing that down.
I'll just say this: I think cancel culture is ridiculous. I think it's very dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
and canceling Dr. Seuss was insane. Canceling Pepe Le Pew was insane.
Yeah, that one is like,
it's a cartoon character. I have my opinion on it, but I'm afraid to speak, on a podcast about it right now. But we'll
we'll get to it.
I don't want to get canceled myself, but
yeah.
yeah.
That's the thing.
I'm not afraid of getting canceled. I'm not going to get canceled.
No, I really don't. I don't get it. That's about it. Maybe it's
It's just liberal thinking. That's all, man.
Oh yeah.
I know you're on the left, and I kind of lean to the right. But
and
but that's
the one thing, because because we were taught differently when we were younger. You can have different opinions and still be your friends. Like,
yeah, I don't see the whole thing is if someone's conservative, someone's liberal, they should be able to talk it out and find a common ground. Or just there's just not enough of that these days.
Yeah.
Everybody is saying is pointing fingers at that side, and this side's pointing fingers at that side, and then nobody wants to work together. So
and nothing gets done.
That's how I see it, man.
Yeah.
Nope, nothing gets done.
Oh yeah, they're just. I don't know, but that's for another day, guys, because me and Lewis are very political people, and I like to think we're both somewhat more intelligent. I think Lewis is much more intelligent than I am, but
hey. I think everybody knows that already. You don't have to. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I know. The self-deprecating humor and complimenting the guest.
Okay. Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. And I do really want to do that podcast one day.
Yeah. But, maybe we could touch base in like 3 years. And we could. No, I'm just kidding. Just let me know whenever. just let me know whenever, man. I'll be.
I know. It just
we would need more than we need a few hours though, I think.
God, yeah. And it would be a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 6 kind of a thing.
Yep.
And I would actually have to do research because how lucky am I as a podcaster to have a friend who does 90% of my show's research? Just thinking about that.
Well, are you referring to me?
No. My buddy Tom, I do talking with Tom, right?
Okay.
And every single wrestler I've ever interviewed,
okay,
I have a wrestler who can do the research for me. So I do the proper questions, and I phrase things right, and I can bounce things off of Tom. Like, hey, would this be insulting to ask a wrestler about? Because with the whole speaking out movement, I'm being a lot more careful with how I'm phrasing questions and doing this and doing that. He's just like, no, that's fine. Or, okay, never mention this. Or this can be more insulting to that world. He's kind of my secret behind getting the big name interviews, because ever since I've had certain wrestling guests on, and I'm always respectful, I have a guy who I can actually bounce questions off of, which is good. Yeah. Sorry, just a random random thought.
I was like, I'm thinking, where is this going? Like, okay, cool. That's cool stuff, man.
I don't know. Once again, my podcasts are just basically me rambling, talking to people.
I figured that out about 45 minutes ago, man.
Oh yeah, I know. I know, because basically what this podcast is me catching up with a friend.
Oh, come here, guy. Come here.
Okay. Virtual hug. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Bring it in here, buddy.
And on that note, I'm going to thank you very, very much for coming on Guilmy Talks, man, because this was so much fun.
Yeah, I had a blast. Thank you. And let's do that podcast that we just discussed real soon, man.
Oh yeah. So guys,
thanks for having me. It was a great time, man. I'm not always asked to be on podcasts, and it's my second interview. I did one with Brendan, doing it with you, and hey, it's an honor that you asked me, and I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Awesome. And we will be doing this again. And if people want to go check out what do I mean want to? Go check out Lewis's shows. They're awesome, dude. Where can they find him?
On YouTube, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network, Instagram, Alliance PW Network. Go to Facebook, Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. I have a group and I have a page. If you feel like joining both, that's great. And what's left? Twitter. Twitter is at Shooting Up North.
Awesome. And once again, thank you so much, man.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, man.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you for listening all the way through. That was a fun interview, and I really needed it. And it's been kind of a crazy week in the Guilmy Talks household here. And I just want to say thank you very much to Lewis. Go check out his shows, MLW Rewind and the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. 2 fantastic shows. I listen all the time. Lewis is a great dude. And a couple of things. Just go check out the Johners Network. Big things coming there. Pay attention, guys. Big things coming from the Johners Network. Keep an eye out. Only very cool things coming up with there. And go check out all my boys in the OIW Podcast Network. It is a fantastic listen. And all the shows there, I'm personally a big fan of, and I know you will be too. So go check any of those guys out. Like couple shows that I've been listening to lately. Shwa Wars is absolutely killing it with their shows. It's Time to Fight has been really fun. Straight Talk Wrestling, and so many more. Go check those out. And go while you're online checking things out, go find that perfect gift for that loved one at batsinthebelfryart.com. And my call to action this week, guys, just after the week I've had with my family and the COVID scare and everything else going on there, just tell someone you love them. That's it. Just appreciate the people, the good people in your life. And that's it, because finding the good ones is hard. Trust me, I know. And I just want to say thanks for listening. You guys really want to help me out? Give the show a share on social media, and I will most likely like it, heart it. What if I'm tagged in it? I normally respond back. So go do that. I always love seeing the organic likes of the content I am putting out there, because I know only seeing the numbers, that's one thing, but seeing that the people actually like the content you're putting out, because I got numbers all over the world, which is very cool, and I appreciate all those downloads, all those listens. Get those numbers up, get my my ratings for the show up, and yeah, I just want to say thanks for listening, and go check out those shows. And remember, tell one person, even if it's more than one, just one person that you love them to today. Thanks, guys, and talk to you soon. Bye.